they're trying to compare the women who are doing really well competing against male Premiership players, when they're not. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to realise that in our own competition, in our own capacity, in our own professional environment, we're just as good and we're being as competitive. We're not saying we're going to go out there and play the men's team that's the equivalent. It's exactly the same as in the Olympics where you have it split. You're not going to have the sort of men swimmers racing against the female swimmers because it's just a different calibre in that sense. We're just trying to prove that in what we're doing it right. We're not trying to compare.
It's safe to say women's football is on the rise. Coverage has increased tenfold in just a few years, and in the wake of the Women's World Cup, with the Lionesses reaching the semi-final, it's become a national talking point, with many suggesting the women's game is finally on the map. But there are still many doubters, not just men, but often men, who call it out for the standard of football.
I'm afraid Andy and I have got to go at this point. There's no point trying to go on.
As someone who's played football my whole life, a first-team footballer at school, a six-a-side warrior on a Thursday night that has delusions of being possessed by Kevin De Bruyne in a leisure centre in South London, I'm the classic type of bloke.
I mean, I think there's still too many unforced errors.
That would say that no matter how much exposure the women's game gets, they would argue they could easily cut it alongside the ladies at a top level. And I know a lot of people who would say that. Surely then, the only way to prove that they couldn't is to go down and play with them. So, I did. I approached the Watford ladies. Their male counterparts, of course, are a Premier League side. The ladies are still a semi-professional outfit in the third tier of the women's game. At the top, the Women's Super League is the only fully professional division, recently going full-time in 2017. However, the Watford ladies use the same world-class facilities as the men, but do their sessions in the evening. Before I was to do my first day training, I wanted to go down and take a look.
I wasn't expecting it to be quite as professional as this. And now I'm really, really nervous.
My first meeting was with Clint, the head coach. I wanted to ask him how he'd think I'd cope.
Very good, very good.
This is where it all kind of, the press goes down. It all happens here. They've got two arms, two legs, a head. They just want to play football. They're passionate, you know, whether it's men, women, the standard is excellent. And I think we're seeing that more and more.
I mean, when it comes to actually playing with them, I just think it's going to be a case of how long can I last before they go, all right, mate, you've had your time. You can go home now because you're wasting our time.
I think they will be putting you through your paces, that's for sure. We've got a good group, so got a mix of young and more senior players. It is changing. We're getting more girls coming through the door wanting to play. In the summer we had so many girls down to trial.
I mean, that's a ball. I can't even kick it that far.
What do you think I'll be shocked by there the most when I try and get involved with them and try and get in the mixer and try and play? Because I sort of think I'm semi-decent at least.
I think probably the tempo, actually. I think when people think about women's football, they maybe think it's a slower game, it's not as fast, but actually when you get involved and when you get going, as the session progresses, you'll see the intensity level goes up. So they'll be demanding a lot of you. So as long as you've stretched and you're up for it.
A bit scared of this coach.
They know I'm coming, right?
Yeah.
They don't think I'm a new signing.
No, definitely not. They've been warned, they've been prepped, but they will be pushing you all the way.
What was going through your head when I came up to you with this idea?
I laughed actually initially, I'd say, at you, sort of someone that wants to come in and get involved, because I think a lot of people underestimate it, but then really excited. The fact that with what we are trying to do, and me personally trying to push women's football more, that someone's actually recognising it, realising they want to get involved, so it's really nice to see that.
So, it's time to begin.
assume all these guys know what these stretches are. Could at least have been given a handbook beforehand. Downwards crab.
This world is so cold, I gotta carry a heater and drink a lot of cognac. Cold crush the jam, we'll see how homies act. And shake the spot, but I pin the snarl up straight through the chain. South in traffic, human and graphic. Step out the car in any parking lot here. Put my spine on it, I'm gonna get my pick of ass kicked. 6 dudes to roll, blade when they're medicated, troglodyte, hard to roll.
Is anyone else shaking as much as me? Can you stop laughing at me, please? Just look the other way. Oh no, I'm not concentrating. What are we doing?
Eyes were hazel, needed no appraisal, should've ring and they were stood up from the table, turn around to read the booty label, wasn't stable, extended cable, scooping them like a label, told no fable, saying able to do the press cradle.
Still going.
This is James.
Before match day training would begin, I was coerced into doing a MAS test, MAS. It stands for maximal aerobic speed and quite simply is the minimal running velocity at which maximum intake of oxygen occurs. However, these were just words to me. It was 10 lengths of the pitch as quickly and as smoothly as you possibly can.
I started way too quick.
I was really hoping to only get involved when the football began, get thrown into a six-a-side, but it became clear if I was going to be allowed to train with the Watford ladies, I had to experience the full thing. We were put into groups and timed, and like a classic bloke, I streaked out in front and began leading the pack. Though by about length 7, I was last, and by the final length, I was at the back of the wrong group. Helen Ward, centre forward and club captain, veteran of the game. She took me under her wing when we began some exercises where I was trying to put her through on goal. At international level, she's Wales's all-time top goal scorer.
Helen, how do you think I'm doing so far?
I think you're doing okay. I didn't see you running, so I'm not sure how you did in the running. But no, you played some good balls to me. I just wasn't on my toes, so I'll take that. I'll take that one on the chin. Don't let me down in. Winning mentality now is everything.
So what's the aim of this game?
Winner stays on, pretty much. I think that's what we normally do.
So it's like a six-a-side.
Six-a-side, 2 teams play, 1 team's around the outside. If there's a goal scored, swap round.
But overall, you don't think I've embarrassed myself too much?
Okay. Apart from when you fell over in the warm-up.
That's what I came here to find out. That was a man who thinks he can play football versus women who actually can. In the tight spaces, I just couldn't keep up. It was going to the point where they were just passing between each other. And it came to the point where I was like the leper, they just weren't giving it to me because they were like, oh no, who's the ball. They just know where each other are and pass it around each other. They're 10 steps ahead of me. By the time I get the ball, I think I'm technically okay. I think I can play. But I'm losing the ball instantly. And also, of course, fitness, they're just way ahead of me. It's that vision thing, just knowing where each other are constantly. And I just don't have that.